Welcome to part 6 of our 45 RPM vinyl records picture sleeves batch number 3. And maybe you recognize that guitar, maybe you know who's holding it. But I couldn't get the whole title in the frame, so I kind of decided to start off on the guitar. But the theme is The Dukes of Hazzard by Waylon Jennings. Now, if you've been watching this channel, you know that I am not a country music fan, but I did watch and like The Dukes of Hazzard. The A and B sides of that are the exact same there, unfortunately. But yeah, just some good old boys. It's the country that's twangy that I really don't care for. You know, just a good song's a good song. And I don't hate country and western just flat out. It's just not something I'm really interested in. Hip hop's more along the line of something that I pretty much just hate flat out. But that's just, we all have our preferences and what we like and what we don't. The B side here being It's Alright. So some people might be a little surprised that I started off with the country and western tune. Hey, it's a great song. It's a good show. And why not, right? Why not? So here we got John Cougar Mellencamp. And we're going to have a few of his here in a row. And this one being Paper in Fire, which was a good song. John had quite a few good songs. I like John Mellencamp. He did a lot of really good stuff. And I think on a personal level, he's a pretty good guy. So there you have it. A side being Paper and Fire. And boy, is that a nice clean looking vinyl. That sounds good on the turntable. And the B side being Never Too Old. So, moving on to the next John Cougar, because I think we've got at least 3. Yeah, we got 3 here. So, Authority Song, which I never thought was a particularly well-written song. It's not one of my favorites of his. But it's not a horrible song, and it did pretty well for him. I'm pretty sure it ended up on his greatest hits. But not one that I would consider to be one of his better songs. But Pink Houses acoustic version makes this a very special 45 to have. And I do love Pink Houses. I think Little Pink Houses for You and Me was a really great song, really well written, and definitely a good addition to his catalog. So here we've got the Authority song on the A side, which, like I said, not a horrible song, just not real impressed to me. But the Pink Houses acoustic version, this makes this 45 special, and really glad to have it. And it is clean, very nice looking. So next up, I got a song of his that I'm not really too familiar with, Pop Singer by John Cougar. Probably one of his later ones. I don't know. There again, I didn't follow his career really well. I like him. He's got a lot of great songs. A lot of these artists I'm saying the same thing about, but that's just the way I feel about a lot of them. They had great songs. They had, you get exposed to the radio everywhere you went. You go shopping at Kmart, and you hear these songs playing and stuff. So it's Pop Singer, and that's a different Mercury label. I don't recall having seen one with that logo like that, so that's rather interesting, actually. And the B-side being a song called JM's Question. Very interesting. Yeah. All right, so moving on, we've got, a great song. I love this song. I wish that I had Jesse's Girl. Working Class Dog was definitely his height of his career. And Rick Springfield had a few good songs. It looks like the A and B sides of this are identical, so no real reason to dwell there. And in the A side, I recently did a whole bunch of Elvis ones, and this reminds me of those. Really dark and kind of a bit hard to see at some times, especially if you've got some wear on the label like this does. B side being a song called Carry Me Away. So, yep. definitely looks like an Elvis 45. All right, now I got 2 copies of this one. I think this is the better looking one, so we're going to show you this one. Benjamin Orr, Stay the Night. And if you don't know who Benjamin Orr was, did you know the Cars? Did you like the Cars? He was a guitarist for the Cars, and he went solo when they broke up, and this was one of his hits. Stay the Night, backside That's the Way, from Benjamin Orr, The Lace. Okay. And it looks like they used the exact same picture from the album cover for the single, which is, would have been fine on one side of the single, but they should have used something else on the other, in my personal opinion. But here we've got one of those really difficult ones to see, that Silver on Red, Stay the Night, being the A side, and the B side, and this has got some scuffing on here, being a song called That's the Way. I like it. No, I'm seriously certain it's not that song. It's written by Benjamin Orr, and I don't think he was part of Casey or the Sunshine Band. But here's the other copy I have, and you can see it's a little bit rougher, so that's why I chose that other one to show you. But let's see what the labels look like. Maybe this label does look considerably better. I should probably swap these in those sleeves, because this one looks mint like the day it came out, and that other one looks a little rough, so why not swap a couple labels and have one really great one and one passable one, right? Sounds like a plan to me. So I'll do that once we're done filming, and I'm putting them back away. Jackson Browne, Somebody's Baby. That's a good Jackson Browne song. I like Jackson Browne. He has some good stuff. And if you don't remember, that was from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That wasn't off of one of his albums necessarily. It probably was on one of his albums, definitely his best of or greatest hits. But backside being a song called The Crow on the Candle. That's kind of a weird title. But if you're a Jackson Browne fan, there's a good shot of Jackson. And here's the A-side label, Somebody's Baby, from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Somebody's baby tonight. And the B-side, looks like he had Graham Nash with him on that. Yeah, I like Graham Nash. He's my favorite of the Crosby, Stills, and Nash. And David Lindsay, who I don't recognize, but The Crow and the Cradle. The Crow on the Cradle. Okay, I read that wrong. I read that as Candle, I think. But The Crow on the Cradle. Jackson Browne with Graham Nash and another guy that I don't know. So, all right. Moving on. We may get cut short here. The battery's flashing at me, so we'll see if we can squeeze in 12 minutes or not. But Joey Scarborough and The Greatest American Hero. Anybody that watched the show would recognize that logo. And the other side is the exact same, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. And here's the label for you. Theme from The Greatest American Hero, believe it or not. And the B side of this being That Little Bit of Us. Alright. Very cool. And next up, somebody just destroyed this one on us. It's Crying Shame. War. Why can't we be friends? What a great song. But look, apparently they wanted to be able to handle it. So rather than putting it in a different sleeve, they just tore a hole right through the picture sleeve. So that's kind of a crying shame, isn't it? Yeah. So anyways, it is a picture sleeve, even if it's damaged. And here we've got the A-side label for you. And I really don't think we're going to make it to 12 minutes. Down to 7%, and it's flashing. So, in Mazatlan. So, if we ended up cutting off right in the middle of me talking or right in the middle of a 45, I'll simply start up the next episode right there. So, I ain't worrying about it. We're going to go ahead and show you this Heart one. And they got it all very stylized there, Heart. All I wanna do is make love to you. We walked in the garden. They had planted a tree. It's got some funny lyrics, man. Even one of the Heart girls, I can't remember if it was Ann or Nancy, was talking about it in an interview and talking about how suggestive and corny the lyrics were. They really were. But it was a good song for them, big song. They did well with it. Side 1, All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You, edited version. So there it says edit, so that makes this a little bit special, a little different 45 to have. Excuse me, jeez. Yeah, I need to drink water. All right, and the B-side being Call of the Wild. So, rather than risk it, I think I'm just going to go ahead and end this one at 11 minutes. We're going to stop this episode here. Get me some charging done and transfer some files, and then we'll pick up this box. We're right about in the middle of it, so it's going to be probably 11 or 12 episodes. So I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you come back for the rest of it. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you again another time.